mass pedophilia. Something is wrong with religion, and you should become atheist.
So if you didn't hear the question, it's about, does the film feel like it's against religion? Or does that just happen to be the institution in which these crimes have been perpetrated?
I hope the film is more complex than that. I don't have a message, I'm not a politician. I just show a situation and I decide to end the film with a question, so it's up to you to give the answer. So as an artist, I don't want to tell you what's wrong, of course I'm in the point of view of the victim, I'm with the victim, but I think the real question at the end of the film should be that do you still believe in the institution? Because faith and institution are different things. And of course, the film is a condemnation of the system of the church, how they cope all these things. But it's up to you, I let you the freedom to think what you want at the end of the film.
In the back, in the black. Yep.
When they're around the dinner table at the end, and two of them are talking about leaving, and the others so obviously want this to continue, the fellowship, did that really happen?
Yes. Yes, it did happen. Francois was apostasy. I don't know if you say that in English.
An apostate.
Yes. And Emmanuel did it too, but Alexander is still in the church. Yes. But it was very interesting to see all these men who suffered the same thing. They have a different way of surviving, and so it was very interesting to see that.
So, hand right here.
I have a question. In Illinois, we had over 400 complaints against priests, and I wonder if your country. I know we just saw a sample of, 20 possibly people. Do you know how many were affected by the pedophilia that was going on in France?
He mentions the number of these crimes that have already been documented in Illinois and uses that as a way to ask, do we know how widespread statistically, or how much do we know about the number of cases in France?
It's huge in France too. Alas, yes, it's the same thing, I think.
Are they still continue to prosecute?
Yes, yes.
Right here.
Hi, it was a wonderful film. Congratulations. I have sort of two questions. One is, did the actors themselves ever want to meet the people that they were playing? Did they in fact meet them? And have you shown this to the survivors yet?
Yes. No, we didn't meet them before the shooting. It was a decision we had together. They wanted really to create some character. So I told them many things because, of course, I spent many times with the survivors. But I gave them my feelings about them, and we use that to create each character. And they met at the premiere, and it was very touching, to see them together. Francois was a little bit upset because he said to me, "You should have cast an actor less big, less fat." but for the others, it was okay. I think they were a little bit disturbed because the story is very closed. It happened in 2014 and 16, so it was disturbing for them, and they were very afraid of the reactions of their family. And actually, everything went well. Even the Alexander's mother, who is not very nice in the film, she thought the film was wonderful. So, it's the power of cinema. When you see your life on a big screen, you're always happy, even if you are a bad guy.
There's a hand over here in the corner.
Merci pour votre très beau film qui m'a fait tirer une larme quand le fils pose la question à son père, est-ce qu'il croit encore en Dieu? Mais la question que je voulais vous poser, c'est est-ce que vous-même, dans votre travail, vous avez subi des pressions ou des soutiens? Vous montrez que le mieux protège le cardinal.
Oui, oui. So I'm going to reverse translate here. So thank you very much for this fantastic movie. I wanted to know if through your work you were on the receiving end of pressures such as the one we kind of see in the movie.
During the shooting, no, because it was secret. But when when people discovered the real title and when they saw the trailer, the problems began. So the lawyers of the priest tried to stop the release of the film. So it was a big issue. We had many problems, and 2 days before the release, we didn't know if it could be released. Fortunately, the French judge decided that in the case of this film, the freedom of creation was more important than the presumption of innocence. So the film was released, and actually the film was very successful in France because the Catholics came massively to see the film because they thought the film was honest and it was not against the religion but more about the institution, and many Catholics are upset of this situation. You know, they want that the hierarchy change all these problems.
And I'll ask, because it's connected to those legal issues perhaps, or the issue of libel that comes up a couple times in the movie, but also as a creative decision, I'm thinking about the flashbacks and how much we do and do not see of what has gone on in the past. And did you always know that this was the amount of the past you wanted us to see, or did you film more than you used?
It was a big question, you know, the flashback. What do we show, what we don't show? Of course, it was impossible to show the act of the abuse. It was impossible. But speaking with all the survivors, all the victims, I realized very often people around them don't understand how it happened. You know, they didn't understand. As a child, very often you're tetanized, paralyzed in front of the adult. You don't understand what's happening. So it was important to show that the child are like lambs go
To the slaughter.
yes, to the wolf. No, and so it was, I think, important to see this man of 40 years old, to show them how they were as a child and how they believed in this priest who was very charismatic, and they didn't understand what was going on.
Looking at the side of the room that I have over my shoulder, I don't want to ignore you if there are any questions over here. But seeing none, I'll go back here.
How do you feel different when adapting real events compared with the original story? Because I have watched your dance ministry in the house, like you shoot it in 2005, I guess. I really like that film, and I can feel that you really try to have more control about your original idea. If the piece is originally written by yourself, but like this piece is based on the way that you write it, you get along with these people, do you think that your mind are like take more control by others, that you get ideas more from them?
So the question is about the difference between telling a story that really existed and pre-existed versus telling a story that's completely of his own invention, like Dans la Maison, in the house he mentioned. How do those processes differ? Do you have more control when it's something that you devised in your own imagination?
I felt more responsible. You know, I didn't want to betray them. And when I do an adaptation, it's easier because very often the people I had adapted were dead, so I had no problem. In the case of this film, I wanted to how to say that j'avais envie de me mettre derrière, de les mettre en avant.
I wanted to take the back seat in that case. I wanted them to be in front of me in the creative process.
We have time for one more question, it sounds like, so right here in the spectacles.
So, one of the things that struck me so much about your film, even compared to other films about kind of trauma and abuse on the same topic, that I hadn't seen in other films, is a lot of these small moments where one man is signaling to another, I understand you, I've been there, like in the bakery, a little, you know, oh, you were there too. And I guess if it was a conscious choice, because I have not seen those interactions in many other films at all, if you chose to show so many of those moments between reporters and victims, and what drew you to those conversations?
So the question is about the number of scenes where somebody almost subliminally or overtly recognizes somebody else and realizes what happened to you happened to me, and was it conscious to include so many such scenes?
I realize you have to be very brave to speak out. And very often I've realized that people who are able to speak out, it arrives very late in their life, you know. Alexander was able to speak out when he was 40 years old. And it was too late because the statute of limitation at this time were 20 years after his majority. And very often people who are under 30, it's quite impossible for them to speak out. Maybe things are changing now, but during a very long time, you know, and sometimes I've met some people, you know, of 70 years old, told me, I've never said anything, and today I'm able to speak out. So that's why it's very important that the law change. I don't know how it is here in Chicago. I've understood in each state it's different with the statute of limitation, but it's you have really to understand that to speak out it's a big choice, because it's, of course, it can help you, but at the same time it can destroy many things around you, and that's what I wanted to show in the film.
So loosely on the theme of speaking out, and also using your voice to make change in the world, this is a film that's already opening in the States this weekend on the coasts. So it is not too early to use your phone, use your computer, tell people to see it. You know, with this kind of subject matter, we've probably all felt, this sounds like a great film, but am I ready? Am I comfortable? Can I do it? Help people that you know that they need to see this. In 3 weeks, it'll be at our beloved Music Box here in the city. So please spread the word, and thank Francois so much for this.